items. Remember we talked about what is the basis for lesser magistrates? What is the basis for law? It's the law of God. You must know the difference between a righteous and a wicked government. You cannot do that if you do not know the law of God. You cannot do that if you do not know the purpose of the state. This means knowing the difference between what is a personal sin and what is a crime to be punished by the state. Most Christians I talk to do not understand the difference. They want a government that punishes personal sin. God gave a government to punish crime against others. Active crimes. What are the things that are crimes in the Bible? Only those are what the state should be punishing. State is not it's not the church. It's not the family. State is the state. It should punish evil, and that's it. So we need to know the law of God. That's your first action item. What is the second one? We must support the lesser magistrates that do boldly take stands against unrighteous laws. And again, I'm not talking about bold stands like press releases that says, I'm not happy, this is wrong. Whoop-de-doo, that's not a bold stand. A press release costs you nothing. Those that are willing to risk something to defend righteousness. You know, there are people who are willing to risk things to defend righteousness, and oftentimes, you know why they don't? Because they're out there all alone. They look around, they know the right thing to do. They go out, they step out on a limb, and they're all alone. Now, good for them, but that's not our job. Our job is to support the people that do stand right for righteous stands, bold stands. An example is Judge Ray Moore. I'm sure everybody knows Judge Ray Moore. Yes? Alabama. Okay. Judge Ray Moore, so several years ago, he's now back, but several years ago he was the big one that made the stands that the Ten Commandments are staying in his courtroom because that's the foundation of law. What happened to him? It was a big deal. What happened to him? He was rebuked by pastors. He was rebuked by his governor. He was rebuked by all of the high officials within that state. He was rebuked by his other Supreme Court justices that were sitting with him. Everybody turned against him and he was standing all alone. Now God honored that. And instead of being just a justice, now he's in charge. He's the big justice. Yeah. And so God has honored him. And he's at it again. He's doing his thing again. So we need to be willing to stand with them. We need to not leave them out all alone. That's the third action item. We must be willing to demand our representatives to begin to use the law of God again as the standard for justice and righteousness and the law that we desire to be governed by. That is a bold thing. Trust me, you will be called radical, crazy, you guys are used to being name called, I assume, if you're here. Extremist, dogmatic. I mean, it just keeps coming, everything, right? We need to be willing to not be all of the other people in Germany. We need to be willing to stand with the pastors of Magdeburg. We need to be willing to risk our comfort. We need to be willing to risk our safety, to risk our ease, and to stand with what is right. Demand the people that you are interviewing. Now is the perfect time. Now is people are campaigning, or I assume here, like it is over, people are wanting to come. Politicians are wanting to come and get in front of people. Get in their face. Say, what are you going to judge by? What law are you using? Oh, I don't use the Bible. That's personal. No, it's not.